Hello and welcome to this video. Today I have the pleasure to present to you this application that I built, which allows to monitor different devices that we have in the network or on the internet using basic ping test functionality. Before we get started with the application itself, I want to show you the back end. Here we're using DataMiner software, and as you can see, we have 4 elements. Each element is currently configured with a number of destinations. We have 2 destinations. As I mentioned earlier, this is ICMP protocol. We're doing ping towards a specific destination. Here we have several destinations that are being monitored, and you will notice that this connector, this functionality, it has several settings that can be configured. Anything from the buffer side, how many pings you want to send per cycle, the interval between each one of the cycles. Also, you can configure the TTL, so it's really powerful and robust. You can also use jitter measurements. But today we're going to use a very simple low-code application to present this information to the operators. Again, we have 4 elements available. Each one of them configured with a number of destinations, and each one of those elements are going to be represented in the application as groups of ping destinations. So we see here in this first page all the destinations that are available in the system. They contain a description, what group or element they belong to, and here we have some properties that can be used to filter, group, or sort these destinations, which allow a lot of flexibility. Keep in mind that on a real system, we can have hundreds, if not thousands, of these destinations, all doing tests at the same time. So it is very important for the operators to have the possibility to do something like filtering. Here we're filtering by the emails providers group, but I can also filter by any of the other properties like the class or the region or even the results of the pings. Down here we have some counters showing the total number of destinations in my system, as well as the number of active destinations. For each destination we have some results, so how long it takes for the ping to reach its destination and then come back. And then we have the number of packets that were lost in the last cycle. So here we have 0 packets lost out of 4, which we're sending. And in this case, we can see that the request timed out. So all 100% of the packets were lost. We can get additional information from each one of these destinations. If we click on this button, it shows additional information like what protocol is being used, what port number. This port, it's important to mention that this only applies if we're using TCP protocol instead of ICMP. This makes this protocol or this solution very powerful because you can use regular ping that relies on ICMP, or you can also use TCP protocol, in which case you need to specify the port number. You also can see the interval, the pings per cycle, TTL, buffer size, and the timeout time that is configured. Moreover, we can see the historic values. If you click on real-time trending, here we can notice the historic values. In this case, we can see the ping results, so the amount of time that it takes for the ping to go to its destination and back. And down here we have the number of packets lost over time. It's easy to find some correlations between the time of the pings and the number of packets lost. Same can be done for average trending. I think it's also very useful to be able to access this information on a grid view. This is very useful for operators that need to monitor a large number of destinations. In this case, it's very simple to identify those that are having some trouble. And you can also click here and it will show you the same information that I was showing you earlier for each one of them. And again, you can filter, sort, etc. On this page, we can see each one of the groups that is configured. Again, remember that each group corresponds to an element in DataMiner. We can see the number of destinations that are enabled. We can see that right now all of them are enabled. There is no destination disabled. And then for each group, we have the aggregated amount of devices that are responding. In this case, it's all 100%. In this case, it's 0% because we can see that all two of them are failing. We also have the average ping time, and we have these properties for the region, the class, and the customer that corresponds to each one of these groups. Again, if we go to this group here, we can see all of the destinations that is configured. We have the option to enable and disable from here. We can also sort, like in this case, we sort by the time, and we have the option to see this information in a graph that shows the outliers. What are the destinations that are taking the longest to respond? Last but not least, we have this page that shows the active alarms on all 4 groups. You can also uncheck to see the alarms coming from the groups that you selected. And you can also look at the historic alarms. That is all the alarms that have been raised in the last hours. So we can see here every time that there was an issue, that there was a failure, it's reported here, and this can be explored by the system engineer. So again, I hope that you enjoyed this quick demo, and I see you in the next one. Thank you.